All right. Hi, everyone. Had a little mild interruption. So, hi. Thank you for being patient with me. I am on my other page. Had a little interruption. So, hi. Thank you for being patient. So, I just had to tell everyone on the page I told them to be on. Uh-oh. Well, okay, they'll go see it. I was like, Instagram. I told them when they go to my page, they'll actually see me. So this is day 2 of CIA Coaching in Action Week. And if you're new to me, hi, I'm Dr. Vernita White. I go by Dr. V, and I am a credentialed and certified transformational life coach. Yes, that was a mouthful, but I wanted to say that. And if you're new to me, you can go to my YouTube channel, see everything that I'm talking about. You can go to my Facebook page, Dr. Vernita Glenn White, see what I'm talking about, and then to my Instagram at Dr. Vernita Glenn White to see what I'm talking about. But in a nutshell, I'm only going to focus on this week. And if you're new to me, stay tuned because you'll be able to catch up. So, CIA Week, Coaching in Action Week, what I wanted to do, I wanted to showcase a framework that I've been using for myself and for my private clients about possibilities. And all this week, if you've been watching my social media feed, I've been doing like little droplets or reels about possibilities and things that we can do with that. So I was like, well, how about we show people live what this is so people can get a feel of my teaching style if they never interacted with me. And then they'll have an opportunity to see me coach or answer coaching questions from the VIP clients who register and who are in the Zoom room with me. Hi, y'all. So for this week, we are talking about the path of possibilities. I said there are 5 things that we can do to uncover our possibilities. And they're F bombs. Remember, I told y'all I'm dropping F bombs all week. So yesterday we talked about focus your awareness, and then I'll talk about the next F bomb today. But you're probably saying, well, what does this have to do with me? Why should I listen to you or anything like that? I shared a more detailed story about the overall picture from yesterday's class. You'll get more information because I went into more detail on the evening class, which was on my YouTube channel. So go over there and watch the replay for day 1. Today, I'm going to share a little bit more about why I'm going into this direction. I don't think I've shared this publicly with anyone. I was looking for something for me to grab, but I'll just show you all the picture. So honestly, before I even thought about this world of coaching, life coaching, personal development in this sense, now I'm an educator by trade or by profession, and I know about professional development. I know about personal growth mindset, beliefs and attitudes and things like that, but never transfer those over to like my real life, my personal life outside of work. So, some things happened, but before, if you don't know, my mother and my grandfather passed away 3 weeks apart back in 2012. And instead of me dealing with grief, I went straight and got my PhD. I was like, I'll deal with that later. Let me go ahead and focus on what I need to do because that was my coping mechanism going to school. And as I was going through all of my stuff, and I finally healed enough to start looking, understanding my mom and what was happening with her all of her life, but especially in her later years in adulthood. And I remember when I was cleaning out, some of her old stuff, I found this letter in like some of her stuff. I think it was actually in her old Bible. It was in the back of her old Bible and it was in an envelope. And I remember her saying that she wanted to do something and she got some advice from someone and they said, well, write all the things down to yourself and then mail it to yourself. So that way you'll have proof that this was your idea. So she did that and she and I remember it coming back, but we just never thought to look at it again because then she got sick and that took a whole nother, direction. And so as I was cleaning up and I saw it and I opened it and I just broke down in tears. And it was It's been 11 years and I'm about to tear up. It was ideas for her to write her book. And I wish that I'm looking for one of my copies that I have now. I don't think I, okay, I don't have it right here in front of me. Okay, I'll have it for the night class. I'll be prepared to show you all for night class, but I can't show you a picture of my mom. So this is Miss Connie. Say hi. So I remember it was a list of her ideas and what she wanted to share. And she always wanted to write a book. So it was the structure of her book, but she never got a chance to write it because she passed away. So I was like, okay, I want to take on this project for my mom, finish something for her. So my first book was Biblical Applications. You can find it on Amazon. You can type in my name. I co-wrote it with my sister and my mom because I used her notes and everything because she used to teach Bible study. Thursday Night Live is what we call this. So all the lessons that she taught the students, her main lessons, they're in that book. And then I put my own spin in it, my own twist with my sister and I, the lessons we learned from our mother during that time. So we always loved our mom. We've always admired our mom, but it was just seeing her and how she was with other young people and how she really made them love the Bible, coming to church. Like we would have that Bible study class packed out like it was the let out at the club. I kid you not. People were coming up there in room 205 like it was something serious. And it wasn't just my mom. She had a team of people, but my mom was really into the practical part of teaching the Bible. So I wrote the book with the help of a great publisher, Strong with Your Faith. Shout out to y'all. And we got the project done. But I said all that to say is my mom passed away before her dream could be realized. All the potential and possibilities that my mom had, they're down in the graveyard. And it started me to wonder what else did my mom want to do with her life? What else was possible for her, but she just didn't know the steps to take to get there. And it was more than just being a great mom, what she was. It was more than just being, Sunday school superintendent or a traveling evangelist. She really was up and down the state of Florida teaching. But I always wondered how big would she have gotten had she had worked through some things or been in an environment to support that and all of those things. So then that really made me start looking at my life and not just settling for what people thought was good enough. I was in a career, I was teaching, that was great, but I wanted more. I went to go get my doctorate degree. I started working at a university, but I still wanted more. And I just realized that I've been grasping at every possibility. And I had to take a moment and say, why? And it's because I didn't want to end up like my mother. That's not a negative thing to say, but I know she died full. I know she didn't die empty. I know she didn't pour out everything possible. Now, I'm not saying that God made any mistakes. It's nothing like that. When it was her time, it was her time. And only God knows why he took her at the time. But I'm just saying, knowing just from that little envelope and going through all of her stuff, she did not live her life full out. Even though she impacted, I'm going to say, probably thousands of people over the course of when she would be out there teaching and doing all of her things. But how big could she have gotten? And then, like the same with my grandfather. My grandfather was the most brilliant man I've ever known to never go to school. That's where some people are like, well, where do you get your math from? Some of it from my dad, but really from my granddad, who could do all of these things, build all these amazing things. And I'll share this secret before we get into why I'm talking about this. He had an opportunity. If any of you are from the Central Florida area, Orlando area, you know about International Drive. Way, way back in the day, I never shared this publicly either. My grandfather had, I forgot to do something. All right. Oh, well. My grandfather had the opportunity to buy a portion of International Drive when it was just like orange groves. But it was just something in him. He was like, I don't know. I can't see it, or I don't know if anybody can help me with it. People are talking about it. And If you know that particular strip of land, you know what's on that property now. So I'm just thinking, what would have happened if my grandfather was in an environment to where someone could nurture that possibility for him? So those two stories led me to say, you know what, how many of us are out here doing pretty good, but we're not reaching our full potential because we see a possibility, but we're afraid to take the steps towards that possibility, or we just stop imagining, we just stop dreaming. So, this whole framework and why I really owned up to life coaching, because some of y'all know I was like, I don't know, sounds, but I love teaching. But not only do I love teaching, I also love being able to walk people through a process to get them the results that they desire to have. So I've been doing that all my life. I've been teaching mathematics, teaching all things education. So it's one thing to give you information, but it's another thing to walk you through the process so that information can transform your lives. And I've seen the power of mathematics transform people's lives, like seriously. And then I've seen the power of coaching and understanding your mind and transforming yourself through self-improvement. I've seen the power of that going through a certain process to transform your life as well. So all I did was just switch subjects. I went from teaching mathematics to now teaching about transformation. So we're going to jump right into it. So the first thing, a recap from yesterday, we talked about focus. And I'm going to show you on my actual framework. So stay tuned. So we talked about focus. And you'll see it on my framework, focus. It was focus your awareness. And those of you who are watching me on Facebook Live, I wouldn't normally say this, but go to the evening class on my YouTube channel, go live, and you'll see the full lesson for that. All right, so today we're going to talk about find. So it was focus your awareness, and today is find your truth. So find your truth. How are we going to find it? That's my little magnifying glass. Can you see that? Find your truth. That's my magnifying glass. So find. So we're like, well, what does this have to do with possibilities? Well, once you focus on what you do want, don't want, the mindset to have it, and then the action steps you're going to take, once you tap into the possibility, now the real stuff starts to come up. See, before you start imagining, your life was like pretty good. And you probably didn't have all of these thoughts, but the moment you start tuning into yourself and paying attention to that inner tongue, and now the wheels are turning, it was like, yeah, I think I do want to write that book. Yeah, I think I do want that car. Yeah, I think I do want to get into better shape. Yeah, I think I want to start that business. Oh yeah, I think I want, to go in this career path. Now all of these thoughts are coming up. Because before then, you weren't doing anything. So I'm gonna give you this example. And if you're not the faith-based person, it's all good. It's all inclusive over here. But this is the best example I can think of right now. When you were just out there doing whatever you want to do, it felt like life was just easy breezy. But the moment you like, all right, God, it's gonna be me and you, I'm gonna be focused, I'm gonna be dedicated towards you. It's like all hell literally breaks out. Everything is like coming your way. It's like, but I thought when I turned to do good or want to focus on something over here, then everything would work out. But that's a trick. That's a trick to keep you from doing what you know you ought to be doing. And again, that's not just faith-based. That's once you decided to say, yeah, I want this new career, I want this new position in this company, then all the thoughts start coming up because your brain is trained to keep you safe. So it's like, we don't know what that's like over here, but we do know what it's like right here. So your brain, because now that you focus on something, your brain is like, we're safe right here. We don't know what that is over there. Then all your ego starts coming up. Well, you sure you want to do that? I don't think that's for you. Well, what are people going to say once you start doing that? And now we're getting into find your truth. So I'm going to take you through a series of questions. So that is what I do. I'm going to teach you this lesson. I'm going to go through, and I'm not holding anything like back. I can't teach you like the full framework, because if you decide to take this journey with me, we'll do that. But I am going to give you enough so that you can start taking action and going down the path of possibility. So if you focus on what I talked about yesterday, you can take that. And now this is step 2. So can you do these things in isolation? You could. but you get more benefit if you go through the entire pathway. All right. So the first one was focus your truth. I mean, focus your awareness. The second one was find your truth. Then we're going to talk about flipping your script. And then on day 4, we're going to talk about flex your bounce back. And then number 5, on day 5, we're going to talk about feature your brilliance. So see all the F bombs, stick with me. You got to stay. All right. So what are we going to do? I'm going to ask you a series of questions. And if you have pencil and paper, you can write them down, or you can come back and watch the replay while they're still up for a limited amount of time. And then I'm going to show you how to use this in action. And then I'm going to answer some questions from our VIP. Some of them, they weren't able to join in live, so they submitted their questions. Now, I would prefer that they were here, the people who ask, and maybe if someone's bold enough who's in the VIP room to raise their hand and you can actually see me coach them. But it's all good, because some people are shy or they're new to me and they're like, "Ooh, I don't know. I don't want people to know," and that's fine. So I'll answer the questions that they're asking me out loud. And if you want to be a VIP, I put the information in the description, and it starts at $5 to get in the room, just like if you want to buy me a cup of coffee. So there it is. All right. So, and then it's pay what you want. All of that information is on there so you can see what I'm talking about. All right. So find your truth. The first thing you have to do, and this is what I'm going to say, think of a goal or an idea or a possibility. It can be a car. It can be a new house. It could be a new friend group. It could be to change your style. It literally can be anything. Sometimes when we think of goals, we think they have to be these life-changing, world-shattering things. And not always, I would say, start somewhere where you can get the hang of it, because you don't want to burn yourself out and then get discouraged. That's just my opinion. All right. So whatever it is, get it in your head. And I'm going to ask you a series of questions. All right. You got it? Y'all have it? All right, good. So it says, what are you holding on to? So remember, this is finding your truth. So if it's you wanting to start a book, write a book, and you're like, okay, I know it's possible. I know I can write a book, right? But then it's like, well, why haven't you written the book? So what are you holding on to as to why you haven't written a book? Maybe something happened when you were in high school and you wrote something, and maybe either the teacher said it was no good, some friends saw it and kind of criticized you in a joking way, or your parents or guardian saw it and made a comment, and that thing stuck with you. So this is why I really gotten into transformational work, is because we don't realize the things that are keeping us stuck. We like to say it's the people, the man, the woman, the government, and all of that. And I'm not saying that those are not real, but it's really us, inside ourselves that are keeping us there. So you'll be surprised at some of these random thoughts that are in your mind that's really holding you back. So if you take a moment, and I know we may not have time to do that here, but if you take a moment and you say, well, why haven't I written that book? You know what? Miss Black did say that about the last time I wrote that short story. Seriously? And I kid you, and I know it sounds so minor, but those are the things that are keeping you stuck. So what are you holding on to? And only you can answer that for yourself. So the next one is, what is your chaos? And we're going to get into the circle of chaos. I'm going to show you an example of that. But the chaos really means is, what is the confusion or the things what is the confusion that's going on in your head? What are you trying to control? And it's all swirling around in your head. So sometimes we think chaos is what's happening out in the world, or calamity that's around, or disorganization, or if you're going into like your kid's playroom, it's stuff everywhere, that's chaos. You kind of think of that and then put it in your head. And the thing is, with high achievers, my crew, that that people come to me, it's really interesting because they can function very, very well in life and still have a whole, like I said, the Verizon network, you remember that commercial where the man was walking and there was a whole bunch of people behind him? We've learned how to do that, operate with all this back here. And I'm going to say this, and this disrespect. I'm not making light of this. Some people call it an illness, so I'm not making light of it. But it's almost like functioning alcoholics. It's like you can still get up and do what you need to do, but all of that back there, and knowing that you've had a drink, or you're able to still function with all of that in your body. All right, so kind of think about it like that. So then we're going to get into I'm going to show you a diagram to follow, and I'll put it on the board. So then it says, what will you do differently to manage your chaos? So when I show you this script or this framework, then you can come back and answer that question. So your circle of chaos, all right, I think I can do it right here. Okay, so your circle of chaos, what are your unhealthy patterns around the idea of you starting something? All right, so unhealthy patterns or habits. So I'm gonna write unhealthy. So what is unhealthy? Only you know that. And if you were coaching with me live in my membership or one-on-one, you would tell me the things, because that's why you're working with me. You would tell me the things that are coming up for you. And this is the time for you to be truthful. Remember, this is find your truth. Because if you don't, you'll keep going in this circle. All right, so what are unhealthy things? Then, so I'm going to go in the circle, says, I avoid what? What do you avoid? Because it's an unhealthy pattern. All right, unhealthy pattern, I avoid. When it's time for you, let's say you want to work out, write a book, start a business, when the idea of that possibility comes up, because remember, you're already focused on it. We did that yesterday. So when the possibility comes up again, it's like, okay, I know I want to do this. Why am I not doing it? What are you avoiding? Are you avoiding working out, writing, reading a book, going to a class, signing up for coaching, your to-do list that's going to get you to the possibility you want to have? Only you know that. What are you avoiding? And then if you're working with me, we go through, we drill down more into that, because there's a truth behind why you haven't gotten what you wanted, the possibility. Now, for those of you who have not started thinking, or you stopped dreaming, I still want you to go back and find something to focus on. And now you can come up to speed and drill down to this. So when I think of this thought, and this is the chaos, the confusion, I'm going to help us to stop being confused. When I think of this, I avoid what? What do you avoid? The next one, and this is for my people, I mask my confusion by. So I mask my confusion by doing what? Here's an example. Sometimes, and I'm gonna just use simple examples, but these can go as deep as you want them to go. I know I want to have a more healthy body. I know I need to work out. I've listed all of my plans, all of my benchmarks, everything I need to do. But the moment the moment that it's time for me to work out, and I start acting like, oh, you know what? I need to go set up these. That's avoiding. That's one way. Or you're like, you know what? I don't need to do that right now. If I could just eat well, I could just focus on just eating better. So I'm gonna mask all of that by just focus on this small part. And again, I know it probably doesn't make sense, but it's the small things that we just like, what, the little foxes that spoil the bunch. What do you do to mask it? And so it's like, do you shop? Do you go and do more work in your business? So like, or at your job, if you're at work and you're working late, and it's like, oh, I have to stay working late. Stay working late. I have to get this work done. Well, you're masking that chaos of working out, because and it goes with avoiding as well. It's like, you don't have to do that. You've done what you're supposed to do. Don't act like you're just so busy with work that you can't work on your body. But only you know that. If you're, again, find your truth. If you're honest with yourself, what are you masking the chaos with? What are you covering up? It's like, I'm too busy, or I'm so tired, or I got to focus on the kids, or I got to get this ready for the husband or the wife. Like, what are you masking? All right. What are you hiding behind? Pretty much. It's like, what are you hiding behind? All right. And then the next one will say, I regret. I regret. And again, only you can you see that? Yeah, you can see that a little bit. So I regret. Only you know what you regret when you're thinking about the possibilities. Now, I don't want you to go down this 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 path of regret to get shame, to be shameful or blame yourself. That's not what we're doing. But I want you to just say, well, what do you regret about a situation? Because if you're honest with that, it's a whole circle. And then once you identify and diagnose what the issue is, then we can address the chaos. Now we can go back to that question of, what is my chaos of the unhealthy patterns? What am I'm avoiding? What am I hiding behind? What do I regret doing about this situation or not doing about this situation? Once you pinpoint that, then you can ask yourself, now that I know, now that it's not just a dark cloud sitting in my head of just, scribble scrabble. I've taken that scribble scrabble down. I've laid it out. Now that I've looked at it, now I can say, what will I do differently to manage all of this? And sometimes it is simple as, oh, that's it, and you're good to go. But if it's not, then that's where we take another step and really dissect that. Okay. So let me know if that's making sense. My VIPs, if you have anything else to say, and let me know. And and we're wrapping that up. That is finding your truth. So again, the first thing you have to do is focus. Find something to focus on. Then you find your truth. Why don't you have that thing, or what's keeping you from making the first step towards that? And it's probably some chaos or confusion or clutter that's in your head. Now, this is only one strategy. There are different strategies, but I don't want to overwhelm you. Go through this. It's a circle. What do I avoid? What do I hide behind? What do I regret about this? And you can keep going round and round and round to pretty much every area of your life. And I will suggest you do that. I talked about the 5 areas yesterday. I talked about spirituality. You can choose something from there. Health and wellness, you can choose something from there. Your finances, your career, business, and then your relationships. And your relationships can be anything, not just romantic, not just family. They can be friends, business partners, network, whatever. One thing I do want to say, because I know some people, for some reason, a lot of people come to me and they talk about starting a business. And I'm going to get into that in more detail with one of the questions my VIP sent to me. I want to say this, and I don't know who it's for, but I'll probably repeat it all week. Don't feel pressured to think that you have to go be an entrepreneur, because that's what it sounds like, and that's what everyone is saying. Don't fall into that trap. Everyone is not meant to be an entrepreneur. So we need a lot of people to work in what you went to school for, or not even what you went to school for. If you're in a career and you're thriving, you're doing well, don't let someone say, well, you should be an entrepreneur, or, go do this with all of your skill set. But I do believe everyone should be a parallelpreneur or dualpreneur. So you can do something on the side. I believe everyone should be doing something like on the side, something that you can bring in more income and be more fulfilled, and not just focusing on your career or your business, or your career, your professional life. So I'm not saying everyone should jump ship. Don't jump ship, but you can put a little dinghy out there. You can put a little dinghy out there. The other part I want to say to that, if you started a business, if you are an entrepreneur and you don't like it anymore, and you're like, you know what, it's been a good run, but I want to go and be in this corporate space. Don't let anyone tell you that you're going backwards or you're making a mistake. You do what feels right to you. Find your truth and just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons that feel good to you. All right, so that's all I'm gonna say about that. All right, so that includes our day 2 lesson of the path of possibilities. Now we're going to answer some questions from our VIP, and then I'm going to show you about our membership. And I'll go into more details about day 3, but I want to show you where you can get information, and then I want to show you the cute little path of possibilities that I came up with. All right, so for the first question, let me turn my notes because I'm a teacher. I got notes. So it was a situation, and they said I was working on writing a book and creating a course around helping parents get their newborn babies to go to sleep, but I'm not making any progress and I'm not sure why. All right, so for that VIP person, that goes back to the circle of chaos. You already know what you want to focus on: writing a book about helping parents get their newborn babies to go to sleep, and then creating a course around it. So great focus. Congratulations. That is something that's possible for you. So awesome. Now it's like, well, find your truth. You can go back to the things we said about your possibilities, but I think you do want this because you remember one of the questions was what one of the characteristics was, what don't I want, if this doesn't happen. But find yourself when it's time for you to sit down to write that book, when it's time for you to create that course, think about what are you avoiding in that situation? What is causing you to avoid? And this is a scenario. Maybe it could be, all right, I'm sitting at my desk. I'm about to write. I got an outline and I'm about to write the first words. Thought, who's going to buy that book? And then if you notice that that's the first thought that comes into your mind, then you start saying, well, I don't even want to go into my writing room anymore because I know that thought is going to be there. But if you recognize that thought, then you say, well, is that true? And here's the quickest thing. If you have the idea, and I learned this from one of my coaches, if you got the idea to do something, that means that there's already somebody out there in the universe, in the world, who wants that thing that you had the thought about. It's almost as the butterfly effect. If I flap my wings over here, a tidal wave happens over there. That is true. God isn't just giving us these random thoughts, just to say, oh, that would be nice. He's giving us these thoughts for us to act on. And now, of course, you're not going to act on every single thing, but he's giving you these desires, and if it keeps coming, that's the one you do. So when you're saying, who's going to buy this? If that's a thought that keeps coming to your mind and you notice that unhealthy pattern, then you have to counteract that. Is that true? Do you believe it's true? If you were a parent and this person is a parent, did you wish you had a book? Do you know how many people want their newborn babies to go to sleep? So that keeps you going, right? And then you have to not talk to other people sometimes. And I know sometimes we think, well, let me share this idea with my close friends and family. Don't do that all the time. Sometimes you need to share your ideas with strangers or in a community where people who are going in a similar direction. And we're not saying anything bad about family and friends, but they also want to protect you. And if it's something that they can't see, they're going to say, well, what they're saying behind the words is, I don't want you to put yourself out there and get disappointed. So if we can protect you from that, then we're going to say whatever we need to say. So you look at it from that place. So you stay focused on why you want to do this, and then you're going to push through the feeling. Even if you have to sit in that room for every day for an hour, you do that until you start telling your brain, no, we're going to do something. You're retraining your brain to get started. Now, could I go into more detail about that? Absolutely. But those are some of the things that I would start doing. All right, my next VIP said, I'm thinking about quitting my job, but the thought literally terrifies me and I shut down altogether. How can I stop this from happening? Well, one, you have to ask yourself, why do you want to quit your job? So again, focus on your awareness, go through all the things that we talked about from day 1. And now here, day 2, find your truth. What is true for you? What are you feeling in your body? And why do you want to quit your job? Now, if it's terrifying you because you're listening to external factors like don't quit that job with those good benefits, you're never going to find another job like this, and you can't hack it on your own. If you're listening to all of that, stop, ignore them, and then just do what would it cost? Do it like a little pros and cons sheets. And I know we might discount those, but those actually work. What will happen or what will it cost me to stay on this job? What will happen or what will it cost me to leave this job? And if we get it out of our head, all of that confusion, it doesn't look or sound so scary when it's right there in front of us. We're brilliant people. And when we can look down at something, we're like, okay, now I got something to work with. So start with that. I'm not even going to give you the answer to say quit your job or stay. I'm not going to do that. You write out all of those things. That's the first step that you need to do, and sit with the feeling. Your body knows why you're terrified. And I think a lot of times we don't sit still enough to let ourselves feel that emotion and to see what is really happening in our bodies. We get a thought, then we start going all over the place, and then that's where the chaos comes in. So breathe, think about what it means to quit your job, let all those emotions flood your body, check in with yourself, and then write out, what will it cost me to stay, or what does it mean for me to stay, or what will it cost me to quit, or what does it mean for me to quit? All right. All right. So I'm looking at the time. We're going to wrap up. We do have some more questions. VIPs, make sure you write them in the queue. Whenever I don't answer them today, I will definitely answer them tomorrow. So thank you so much. Now we're going to talk about the membership. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but I do want to show you this, and I hope I can share my screen for you all. Bear with me. Share. Thank you. We'll share this one first. All right, so I'm looking down to see if the streaming will catch up to us. Oh, it did. Okay, perfect. So, Path of Possibilities framework, we talked about focus your awareness. Step 2 is find your truth. Then we're going to get into flip your script. Then step 4 is flex your bounce back. Step 5 is feature your brilliance. And I wanted to show you this because it is an actual path to follow. All of this gets you down here. This is the magical pot of gold or platinum or whatever your precious metal of choice is. And then I say, see what's available for you when you follow the path of possibilities. It's time to reassess, realign, reinvent, and to realize who you really are. So I want to show you that. That are some of the things that we talk about in the membership, but I am showing you all this week so that you can get a sense of, a starting point, especially if you're new to life coaching or personal development, self-improvement. If you're new to it, I just want to give you something to start with. All right. The next thing I want to show you is all right. Now I'm going to show you the Path of Possibilities incubator, and I'm going to share my screen again. So I'll go into more detail about this on tomorrow, day 3. But this is Power Up Your Possibilities Incubator. It's the membership. And then you can go through this. I'll make sure the link is in the chat. But I want you to see the brochure. But we go through this, and I am offering a founding members special that ends on Sunday, the 26th. This is the founding members offer. And I'll go into more detail about this. We're going to go step by step into that. See, it says 5 days left, but I had this up since I did soft opening with all of my Power Up Your Possibilities reels and worksheets. So people have known about it, but now I got this idea to really do this coaching and action week to lead up to the membership. So these are the things that you get in the membership. And again, I'll talk to you more about them. But I do want you, once you come to this site right here, and it'll be in the description, is to download the brochure. When you download the brochure, it will give you more information. So if you're not able to come to Coaching and Action Week and you're like, the membership sounds interesting, I want to know more about it on my own time, you can go to get this membership. You put your name and your email address in, and it pops up for you. It gives you some backstory, and then you can start looking at everything that's involved. I'll go into more detail about this tomorrow. And then you can just sit here for yourself and read everything that's in there, what's included. And then I also have some people that I've worked with. You can see their stories overall. And then I go in through some Q&A, and that way you can have it on your own time. And again, that will be, the link will be in the description or in the comments. VIPs, you all already have that information. And then we'll go into more details tomorrow. Did I say stop share? I think I stopped share. Let me see. Yeah, I did. All right. So I wanted to show that all to you. If you are interested in anything else, you're like, okay, this is great. I want to keep going. You know, I want to see what I can get into before, if I can't show up for the night class, because I am doing this again tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. You can, the best way to find out all of my stuff is to go to my link tree, which is linktr.ee/Dr. Vernita Glenn White. Everything's one, no hyphen, no dot, none of that. Everything together. So my link tree, Dr. Vernita Glenn White. And it will be the second tab of where you can find that brochure, or go to the page and then you saw it'll say download brochure on the first page when you open the screen. That is the best way. So if you go to my website, I mean, I love my website, but it's a lot to navigate through. So the link tree is your best bet to get that information if you want to get it before I go into detail tomorrow. Those of you who may be curious about how to get your questions answered, or how can you show up for a live Q&A with me, or a quick coaching hot seat with me, you can go to, is it bit.ly/CIA VIP. And it is a pay what you want to get into the VIP room, and the Zoom information will be sent to you immediately, so you can be ready either for us tonight or tomorrow. All right, so that's all I have for you, amazing people. Thank you so much for listening and learning with me. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. And if you can join us live, come over at 7 o'clock tonight on my YouTube channel. So thank you again. If you learned something that was valuable for you, please put that in the comments on Facebook, because I will go back and check them. I'll figure out why this wasn't on my other page, but hey, it may have worked out to be over here. All right, thank you so much. I said that again, but remember, the world needs you to be well, to be empowered, to be bold, and to be brilliant. Until next time, bye everyone. All right, VIPs, I'll see y'all later, and you know how we do. So, all right, bye y'all.